big downside to DTF printing is the paper feel that larger prints have after they've been pressed into shirts. They look and feel like giant stickers that don't look like they are truly part of the garment because they're too stiff to drape correctly when worn. In fact, they look downright cheap. Yes, I'm intentionally throwing shade at Run Disney for cheapening the value of their race shirts. And no, I won't apologize for spitting facts. One of the ways to lessen the sticker look is to halftone your artwork. In this video, I'll walk you through how to use xTool's brand new Halftone app to remove the principal color and make the printed areas of your design more pliable. So what is halftoning? Apart from being a word I can't pronounce, there's a lot of math that goes into the deeper science of it all. But at its core, it's a technique that takes a design and converts it into pixels of a dotted pattern that still looks like the original design when viewed from a natural viewing distance. To the human eye, there are no dots, just smooth tones and transitions between colors. You've probably seen this, but never knew what it was called. It's used widely for printing images in newspapers and stylistically for retro pop culture designs. Halftoning is used to reduce the amount of ink that's used when printing. For DTF printers, this lets us remove tones that match the color of the garment the print will go on. Reduced ink via halftoning means your design becomes less dense and thus less sticker-like. Let's walk through how to halftone your design. So thankfully, xTool Studio has a halftone tool in Atom that you can use right there in the software to transform your designs. To get to the halftone tool in xTool Studio, start a new design and go to the toolbar on your left. Near the bottom is the Applications button. That'll open a panel with a list of all the apps that are available to you. Under Generator, you'll find the Halftone Maker. Click on that and then click the Create New button to start the halftoning process. Two things I'd like to address before going any further. The AI generator terminology is a blanket term for most of the tools in Atom. The Halftone tool is not generative AI that creates all new slop via theft from real artists. This is an AI-driven tool that takes the art you feed it and performs the halftoning actions you typically do in a graphics editor. There is a difference, but it's a spicy topic for another day. The second thing is that it does cost Atom credits to use the tool. I don't normally bake prices into my videos since prices tend to fluctuate, so I'll just point out that the price is minimal and you can earn credits by sharing designs with the broader Atom and xTool community. Moving right along. You start first by importing your artwork. The tools to dial in the halftone intensity are in the panels to the right of the canvas. At the top of the canvas, you'll see Original, Preview, Export, and Mask. Click on Preview. Your art will look like some kind of neo-impressionist pointillism hellscape. So let's go over the settings so you know how to make it look less weird to the naked eye. The first thing you'll want to do is select the knockout color. This is the color that will be removed. You want that color to match the garment you'll be pressing your design into. Since I'm pressing to a black shirt, I'll remove black. The tool automatically sets the background color to match. From here, you can adjust the halftone pattern. There's dot size, which is the size of the dots that make up your final image. Larger dots will be more visible, so higher values will give a more stylistic halftone as opposed to a functional halftone. The size settings are some of the most important values. Once you halftone your design, you cannot resize it. The size of your design matters when halftoning because the spacing and the size of the dots are fundamentally altered if you shrink or enlarge your halftone design. The DPI is totally up to you. I just use 300 DPI. I don't really need a higher resolution than that. So those are the basic settings. Let's take a look at the advanced settings. These are the values you tweak if you don't like the default look. The biggest one to take note of is the knockout tolerance. The higher the percentage, the wider the tonal range will be for your knockout color. If you lower the percentage value, it'll reduce the tonal range. This helps create a smooth gradient of color removal. This is good if you have a rich background that needs to fade out at the edges. The pre-processing and tonal balance sections let you adjust the appearance of your artwork. Removing darker tones like the black in my design will give an overall darker appearance to the remaining colors. I like to brighten things up a smidge to help offset that. Once you're done messing with the settings, you can export. You can either download your design or import it right into your workspace. Now before printing, you'll want to reduce the white ink. This pulls it in a bit so that you don't have white peeking out from the edges of your darker colors. This isn't a problem with white t-shirts, but it's a big problem with darker t-shirts. When printing, you'll notice the knocked out areas of your design. It'll look dimpled as the white ink is applied. Let the machine do its thing while you drink your 5th coffee of the day. Caffeine is king, my dudes. Now that the design has finished printing and curing, you can head to the heat press. This is the new Wonder Press. Full disclosure, xTool did send this to me for testing and review. I'll cover some of the nitty-gritty details of the advanced add-ons and features of the Wonder Press in a separate video. For now, let's cover the fiber arts features of the press. The max pressure is a lot higher than other domestic heat presses. Pressure is what makes your interfacings and transfers fuse cleanly. It's all about getting maximum squish for the glues to fuse them into the fabric. The less pressure you have, the less likely you are to get a secure fuse. Now, the Wonder Press has all the other bells and whistles for setting the temperature and timing as well. Yay! Once it's done, let it cool down for a minute or two. Then you can peel off the film and get ready for a second pressing. If you have little bits that cling on after the first press, don't worry. Those are dots that didn't get a lot of the white ink and DTF powder on them. They're gonna come off with a second press. I do the second pressing with a Stahl silicone sheet. It's textured, so when I press it on top, it'll emboss and transfer the texture over to my design. This softens it even more. If you don't have the Stahl silicone sheet, you can use a Teflon sheet or butcher's paper. Et voila! We have our halftone design on a shirt. See how the knocked out color is compensated by the garment? It also doesn't feel like a giant sticker. The halftone pattern makes it more pliable, so it'll drape nicely when worn, like this one that you've been looking at the entire time. If it weren't for halftoning, I wouldn't have been able to use my source art for a shirt. There's just no way it would have looked like anything other than a cheap sticker. You know, like the Run Disney Race shirts. Thank you so much for your undivided attention. Let me know what you think of the outcome in the comments below, and feel free to ask questions as well. Something, like the video, blah, 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 subscribe, blah, 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 give me attention. Thank you.